baritone and tenor.
Komm auf mal. Ungeschriebenes Gesetz. Das ist dann...
I got 16 years old. I was working at Firestone Rubber Company. And the first 4 hours I thought was all right, but that second 4 hours, 8 hours just a little too much. I said, it has to be a better way to make a living than working 8 hours a day. And that's when I decided to pick up the saxophone. I was born in Watts, a little small town, about 10 miles from downtown Los Angeles in 1927. It was just like being in the country. Well, it was the country. You could say it was the country. It was very prejudiced in Los Angeles at that time. And out of that circumference, we couldn't go. It was like being down south, like you couldn't go to the restroom, you couldn't drink water out of the saucers, you couldn't go to the shows, and if you went and bought something, if you picked it up, you had to buy it, whether it fit or not, it was terrible. But we had a nice school, grammar school. I went to Grape Street Grammar School. Then I went to Jordan High School. We had a band. And then I went to Polytechnic for 1 year with Sonny Chris and Hampton Halls. We had a jazz band. Mr. Green was our teacher, and I said I wanted to study. So he got me in touch with Joseph Caroline, and he played first chair at RKO Studio. Monster guy, man. And he's the one that taught me how to get that good sound, play from the diaphragm and non-pressure armature. Central Avenue at that time, they had the Club Alabama, and they had the hotel. It was like the Cotton Club in New York, full floor show, comedians, dancers. Then they had the Downbeat on one corner, and then across the street they had the Last Word. And the Basket Room, all the musicians would go there after the jam, then had a little speakeasy spaces of different homes that we had where you could go sit and drink and all that type of stuff. Then Sonny Chris and I, we worked at the After Hour Club downtown. Downtown, they'd have all the big shows, like at the Orpheum Theater. Lionel Hampton, Jimmy Lunceford, Duke Ellington, all the big bands. If you got there before 12 o'clock, you get in for 50 cents. And I'd stay there from 12 to the last show. That's when I saw Illinois Jackets with Flying Home with Lionel Hampton. On the second chorus is when he started riding, and I was very impressed with that. And from there, I started getting my own style.
You are the boss.
1, 2, 1, 2, 3.
so one day I was just walking, and a friend of mine named Prince Stamps said, "You want to record?" And I said, "Yeah." But I didn't know what I was going to record. So it was a guy in Watts, had a little record shop named Pete Kennard. And what he would do every day, he would go out and just buy a few records. He wouldn't buy a lot of them so he wouldn't get stuck with. So he gave me a record with Glenn Miller with the drum, Saxophone. I wrote Deacon's Hop, big hit. It was wild. It was really, because like, I would open up the show screaming, you know, like, usually when we go on the 190, we play like 2 hours before we take a break, to take a half an hour break, come back and play. So the first number, I'd open up, wow, you know, crazy. And we'd play like one tune for a whole hour, you know, like Flying Home with Me, the powerhouse, you know, I was young, had a lot of energy, you know. I remember I was in Providence, Rhode Island, working at a celebrity club, and the guy had read the article, and he said, "I bet you $100 you can't play an hour." I said, "Oh, you kidding, man?" So he had a lot of money, so played about a half an hour. He said, "That's okay, stop." So a lot of people, they try to criticize what I was doing, saying I was destroying music and everything. But they never did challenge the sound. See, that sound that I learned from the guy, man, it was so powerful. They never said, "Oh, he sounds bad," you know. All they say, "Oh, he's playing one note and he's squeaking," so that's why they call it honking and screaming. You know, they were the one that gave that the title, you know. But I call it soul, you know, because it's to create excitement. You know, you play one note and repeat it. Sometimes you play with vibrato, no vibrato, and it's the energy and the vibrato and the soul. That's what creates all the excitement. Working in a little town called Clarksville, Tennessee. But anyway, I was jamming, and man, I had a great band, but nothing happened. The people didn't respond. So after an intermission, I got on my knees, nothing happened. I laid on the floor, bad. It went crazy, and all the people from downstairs come up, they wanted to see what was happening. And so then I tried it when I got to Fort Worth, Texas, Monster. So what I used to do, brand new suit, man, I lay out in the dirt. It didn't make no difference to me because I could get it clean the next day, you know. And so when I got to Los Angeles, big. That was for Elvis and all the blue suede shoes. And so I was in all the national magazines, and I was playing to 5,000 and 6,000 white kids every week. You know, the big agencies, they didn't know what was happening. When Capitol Records came down to Greek K-Star and Ray Anthony, there was nobody there. They was all downtown with us.
And we're going to rock here at 2 o'clock in the morning. Get on down here to the Olympic Auditorium at 18th and Grand. And now, one of the stars of the evening, Big J. McNeely!
And so here I am, a young black guy And all these white kids, especially the women, you know, screaming and hollering, what is this? They weren't ready for a black artist playing for the white kids, because they couldn't understand why they was responding to the music as they were. And they couldn't deal with it, man. So they said, well, the only way we can do it, don't give him a permit to play. Stop him. So I was bored out of Los Angeles. And the only thing helped me was that my manager put me with GAC. And they booked like Nat King Cole, Sammy Davis Jr. and all that. So I was able to work all the big clubs like the Hi-Hat in Boston, the Providence, Rhode Island, Atlantic City. I could work Birdland, New York, you know. They had what they call the chitlin circuit, you know, it's down south, you know, and you had to have a hit record to play down there. The show that I went on, they had Little Richard, because he had his own band. Bill Doggett, he had Honky Tonk, he had his own thing. But now Joe Turner, they had the Moonglows, the Five Keys, Etta James, the Robins, Shake a Hand, all on the same bill. So you had to play for all these acts and then do your show. And they put the big acts on a real nice, fine bus, and then they put the band on a raggedy bus to play. So I refused to ride on the bus. So I said, well, I'll just take my own van throughout the world. But you know, we couldn't stay in the white hotels. So it was just so many rooms. You know, some people staying in people's homes and little jive hotels they had there. So when we got to town, a lot of times we had to sleep in a van because there was no rooms. In New Orleans, we had to do 2 concerts, one for the white and one for the blacks. And whenever we did play for just the blacks, then they had what they call white spectators. They had to go upstairs, and they couldn't come down. When everybody be grooving downstairs, they'd be setting up in the balcony, you know. And you could imagine that show was kicking, man, because everybody's trying to steal the show. It's so many stories, like in San Diego, when I got locked up in San Diego, I got out in the streets. It's right downtown, and so off-duty cop came by. I guess he thought, who this crazy kid out in the street blowing his horn? So he called down the station. They come put me in jail. And I was gone so long, the band said, well, what's happening, you know? And so somebody said, oh, that cat's in jail, man.
There is something on your mind by the way you look at me.
So that's the biggest tune that I had, was There's Something on Your Mind. Big tune for me. A lot of people think I wrote it, but I didn't. I bought it from the guy, you know. He said, well, give me $25. So, you know, I was very poor, you know, so I went home and told my mother, I said, look, I got to have this $25. I said, this is a hit, you know. And so I take him down to the lawyer and wrote a contract. I gave him $25. I take the tune. And Little Sonny I picked up, he's been with me about 5 years, you know, but he loved Ray Charles. And so I couldn't get no record deal with him because we already got Ray Charles. We don't need another Ray Charles, you know. So I told him, forget about Ray Charles. Sing yourself, just like this. So we recorded it in Seattle, Washington. Taking it to Hollywood, played it for all the companies. Nobody said, oh, this is nothing. And Hunter Hancock, he said, well, okay, I'll put it out for you, but he said, this is nothing. That's what he said, you know, okay? We put it out. Rocky Lucky come on at 12 o'clock at night. Put that thing on the air. Man, people were calling and screaming, and since then I make some heavy bucks. Oh, there's something on my, everybody's recorded, you know, and white, blacks, and Jamaicans, and in fact, they got a tune out called There's Nothing on Your Mind. You know? I think what made the tune so big is because what we was playing, it was do 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 do, and the kid was there. I mean, it was just mellow, you know.
Do 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 do.
You know, this guy from Downbeat, you know, they all wrote about jazz, you know, and they was, of course, as far as I was concerned, they didn't like me, you know. It didn't matter to me. I love jazz, but then after I recorded my first hit record, I become known for that, and that was it, you know. Charlie Parker, we ran with Dizzy Gillespie and Miles Davis, all the guys. So like when I was working Birdland in New York, all these other guys who like jazz, they want to know, well, what's Miles Davis talking to this one note playing cat? But they knew me, you know, and Charles Mingus, we went to school together, Buddy Collette, and Dexter Gordon. See, when he used to play, I was a young kid, I joined the black local when I was 17. People used to ask me, how do you feel about Elvis and all those guys making all the big money? You know, because I never made any big money, you know. Like I'll be 85, and so I look at my life all the time. I've been playing and all the things, everywhere I've been and all the stuff I've been through. And is it worth it? And that's the only thing that has helped me through all the problems, everything that I've been through, to know that God's kingdom is the only hope, and that I look for to live forever, then I can play my horn for eternity.